Hello and welcome to the Quantum Bliss. I am Dr. Acelina Barros, and right now I'm about to share deep insights that will help you harmonize your frequency and access a state of bliss. So take a very deep breath, full of awareness and focus right here, right now, wherever you are. When we judge, we are unable to love. Today is the day 10 of the 9-month project. What kind of comments do you make about other people's lives? How much do you know about someone else's life to comment on their attitudes? Who are you to judge another person? There's a popular saying in Brazil that says, "If Peter tells me about Paul, I know more about Peter than about Paul." We should be very careful about what we say about other people. We often make wrong judgments because we don't know the full situation. And as a result, we end up hurting and sometimes even condemning innocent people. Only those who are controlled by their ego are capable of maliciously criticize others. And what do I mean by ego? Ego is what makes you see yourself as separate from God. In other words, separate from love. Dr. Deepak Chopra would say, ego stands for edging God out. If you're not separate from God, your attitude will be loving and compassionate, and therefore you won't make mean comments about others. When we understand the dynamics of the universe, that we are in separate bodies, but we are all part of the same consciousness, that we are one, experiencing different times and spaces, we become incapable of judging others with malice, because we understand that the other is part of us on a deeper level. And then, the feeling that arises in relation to people who act differently from what we think is right is not judgment, but compassion. We no longer judge what the other person does, but rather we try to understand that the decisions they make are based on their own point of view, with the best possible intentions. So we make the choice to try to understand what led the other person to act in that way, which in the vast majority of cases was their own ego. This doesn't mean that we need to agree with other people's attitude all the time, but rather that we choose not to judge. And that's very hard, I know. I too sometimes find myself judging people, judging situations, and even judging myself. The material world deceives us. The fact that we inhabit a physical body, seemingly separate from the whole, makes it easy for us to judge. We have to be very careful with that. Being aware of all of this, the important thing is that when we find ourselves judging something or someone else, we immediately make the choice to look at the situation through the eyes of Christ. How would Christ act if he was in my place? If we don't like something we see outside of ourselves, we should look inward, looking for what needs to be changed within ourselves, what's inside of us that resonates with that situation. I know this is quite a difficult truth, but we only see on the outside what we have on the inside. And this is why inner work of self-awareness, self-preparation, and correcting our own mind is so important. The only thing that needs to change in the world is ourselves. Everything else is just a mirror of our subconscious mind. May we have the humility and the wisdom to reflect on all of this. May we know how to filter our thoughts and the judgments we make about others. For to the extent that we judge, we will be judged. The other is myself in disguise. We are one. Let's always remember that. May you all have a blessed day. With much love and cherish, Acilina.